Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexandra Valentine, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for always returning to watch my videos, and if you are a new subscribers, welcome to the family. Welcome. Please hit on the subscribe button and let's get started in today's video. So in today's video, we are going to be drafting a two-piece sleeve, the type of one you see in a blazer jacket or a coat or a suit. Yeah, that's the one we are drafting. So in my last video, I shared with you guys on how to draft a basic sleeve. So I'm just taking that basic sleeve that we drafted in our last video and I'm folding it on itself like this. First of all, I fold the tip and then I'll fold of the top and then I'll fold the tip of the bottom as well. So after that, I'm just going to cut it out because I don't want to have to draft it on another paper. I just want to make use of this paper. So just watch and see what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting this right. So after doing that, I'm placing it on another pattern paper and I'm going to use my marker to trace it. Look at what I cut from earlier. This is how it was before. So I cut it out and that's it. So I'm just going to use my marker now to trace the down part, that's the upper part of the sleeve. So I'm going to use my marker now to trace out the upper part of the sleeve. Having done that, having tracing the up part of the sleeve, I'm going to take those two parts that I cut out earlier and I'm going to place it on their respective places. So I'm placing this one at where it's supposed to be and then I'm going to trace the inner lines like that curve. I'm going to trace it out with my marker. I'm also going to do the same thing for the other part too. Take it and place it on its respective place and then just use my marker and trace up that curve at the top. And there we go, we have a copy of the sleeve, of the folded sleeve. This is replicating it. So what I'm just going to do is that I'm going to take the upper part of the sleeve and then I'm going to place it and find the midpoint and I'll mark it on our new pattern paper. This is to enable me get the middle of the sleeve. And I'm also going to find the midpoint of the sleeve by placing it also and then marking it at the top also. So I'm just going to rule a line from that point to the other end of that point with my marker and ruler. So I must warn you, this the drafting of this pattern is a bit tricky, so I hope you guys pay attentiveness to this drafting of the sleeve. So right now I'm taking my former pattern paper and then I want to get the front and the back. Like I want you guys to see how to label this. So this is going to be the front, while that is going to be the back. So this is like taking it from this paper to this paper. Yeah. So from this point, right, we are going to mark our elbow line because it is at this point that all the magic happens. It's at this point that you be marking that slant effect. You know our elbow is not all that straight; it's a bit slanted, and it normally slants towards the front. So we are going to like take this elbow from this elbow down. We are going to be shifting it a bit towards the front. So from this midpoint now, I'm coming in by 7.5 inch, not up to 1 inch and more than half an inch, and then I'm going to slant it all the way to the midpoint of that elbow line. Okay, now from that point, this new line that we've marked, we are going to be um, drawing a line at least 90 degree to that um, line. Now you want to take your former length measurement of the base, which is as at 4.5, and then you want to divide that 4.5 between this new line that you just made and on that new line. Do you understand? Between this new mid line, you divide it that 4.5 on that new line adjacent to it. Do you understand? So if you don't understand the English I'm speaking, just follow what I'm doing. So from that point now that we marked, we are going to connect it to the elbow point of the site. I know there's too much English and grammar in this tutorial. Just do what you see me doing. So we are going to connect that point to the elbow point on the side, not on the middle, on the side. So you can see that this has changed shape automatically, like it has been removed from its original point towards the front. So I'm going to like X the marks that we are not going to be needing. This is very tricky. As you can see, I got confused a little bit. I got confused a lot when we get to that point of that confusion, you will know. So I've marked the points that will not be needing. The ones that I did not mark are the points we will be needing. So now we are going to be like um marking our allowance. So I need 1 inch allowance around the sleeve, because remember our former pattern paper was not carrying any allowance, so that's the reason why I am adding 1 inch allowance. You can add two, you can add 1.5. It depends on how many stitching allowance you want. So I marked one, and I'm going to use my ruler to like trace up that line. So I'm done um adding the stitching allowance around the sleeve. The only thing we are going to be doing now is we are going to be adding, because the back is usually bigger than, that's the top of the sleeve is usually bigger than the what's it called, the lower part of the sleeve. We are going to be cutting it with 1/2 inch allowance. By the time we sew 1 inch in, the upper part will be bigger than the lower part with 1/2 inch allowance. So by that, so doing, we have the bigger upper arm and then we have the smaller upper arm. So I'm going to show you how I got the result. So I'm about to cut this sleeve on another fabric. So this is the upper arm of the sleeve. As you can see, I am giving 1/2 inch around the sleeve, regardless of the 1 inch we added earlier. So I'm just like giving 1/2 inch around the sleeve, and I'm going to do that off camera. And around the sleeve, just going to be 1/2 inch. I know you're not seeing the lines very well, and that's because the fabric is a bit lighter, because it has white lines. But when I'm done cutting this, you will see that I gave 1/2 inch around the sleeve. So guys, there we have it. This upper part of the sleeve is now bigger than the lower part of the sleeve with 1/2 inch. So we'll have to take out this half that we took from the lower, but we'll have to take it out when cutting for our lower part. So for the lower part of the sleeve, because the upper part is bigger than the lower part by 1/2 inch, I'm going in from this original line after the stitching allowance of 1 inch. That's this original line. I'm going in by 1/2 inch. That is the 1/2 inch that we added to our upper sleeve. Do you understand, guys? So I'm just going to go around the sleeve, around this line by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use my ruler to trace those dotted lines that I've made. I'll also be doing the same thing for the other side. I'm coming in by half, half inch around the original line. So at this point now we have a lot of lines. Not to worry, I'm going to like cancel the lines we will not be needing. So after marking those half lines, I'm going to use our ruler to like trace those dotted lines across each other like this. So I'm using my marker now to like cancel out the lines that will not be needing. That's this first line here. So at this point I got confused and I cancelled out the original line that I've been needing instead of the other one. So you see why I said that when we go for that I'll get confused. So this are the lines that will not be needing, but we'll be needing the inner line. So from that inner line now, we are coming out by 1 inch, which is our sewing allowance. So we are going to be using our ruler to rule out those dotted lines that we've made. And we'll also repeat the same process or procedure on the other part of the sleeve, measuring 1 inch allowance from the inner lines. So another way to go about this without having all these lines is by just from the tip of the pattern paper by just going in by half of an inch, because the upper part is bigger than the lower part by half of an inch. So just take out the half of an inch. I didn't realize I would be able to do that. I just went ahead doing this, but now thinking about it, you can just remove half of an inch from it and it will be accurate. So because of there are so many lines, you might get confused, but just do it regardless. Like I trust you babies, you can do this. So I'm just taking out the little line. I'm like cutting on the little line that I've created. That is half inch away from the tip. Like I said before, half inch away from the tip is like the lower um sleeve. So why not just mark half inch round and then take it away. Thank you guys for watching. This is like basically it for drafting a two-piece basic sleeve for your coat, blazer, jacket, whatever. So having cut this out, we are also going to cut out the armhole. for this. When cutting this on your fabric, you don't need to add any allowance because all the necessary allowance are already attached to it. So I'm just like cutting out the armhole, and that will be that for drafting a two-piece basic sleeve for your coat or jacket. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial video. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channels, babies. That's the only way you can support me. Subscribe to my channel, and please leave a nice comment below. Thank you.